آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه
I set my heart on photographing the US military occupation of Saddam's palaces. And to get in there, obviously, you have to be with the US boys, the US troops. But that was no easy task, and I tried to get embedded, you need to be accredited by a bona fide media organisation, such as like New York Times, for example. And that's no easy feat if you're not a journalist. So I tried many news establishments, many newspapers, including my local paper in Ireland. And everyone who actually got back to me was like, very interesting idea. No, we won't take responsibility for your actions in Iraq. But I had a friend, undergraduate at Yale, where I did my master's, and she said, oh, yeah, I know the editor of the Yale Daily News, so why don't we ask him? So I said, yeah, sure, we'll ask him. And we went and asked him. He said, oh, yeah, no bother. I'll write you the letter tomorrow. Contemporary art is unburdened by the sort of instrumentality of photojournalism. You can really reference whatever you like within contemporary art. You have total freedom to challenge and to create your own symbolic order. So it's really, it's a blank slate, whereas photojournalism is, so it's sort of pictorialism. It's a way of illustrating very, very complex things. And I think it's very important that there are other alternative narratives out there. And it's great that some of them are coming from the field of contemporary art, where, as I said, the field is open. I suppose in part a rejection of 20th century for journalistic realism, which uses small format technologies like the Leica. You think of Robert Capa, almost sort of a dramatization or a theatrics of the battlefield. These are the kind of normative way of representing battlefield in the 20th century, which is become so sort of widespread and common that it's hard to see different ways of representing the battlefield. But in fact, there were other ways, other strategies available before photography, such as history painting, like the raft of the Medusa. This is a contemporary event painted by an artist in a very, very enormous format. And it's made accessible to the people of Paris at that time. And what I was very interested in with that type of painting was the figuration within the landscape, because with an 8x10 camera, these large formats, somehow it gives the landscape a freedom with a space to breathe on its own, to describe itself. And if you put the figure small in the landscape like that, you create a certain type of composition that harks back. So that was, I suppose, on some level, what I was drawn to by this type of composition. Yeah, I think art's role is to challenge rather than to affirm. But no, art has this, as I said, the blank field, the blank slate. You can really say anything, and you can bring a lot to bear on your subject as well. And it doesn't have to be resolved into this perfect statement of intent.